Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. The Nigerian Army says it has captured a key base of the Boko Haram terrorist sect in Alagano, Borno State, northeast Nigeria. The theater commander of the Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Lucky Rabo, disclosed this on Tuesday, saying the troops cleared several Boko Haram hideouts and also killed many of the terrorists during the operations. He added that the operations of the Nigerian Air Force in that area aided the troops in carrying out their mission. Nigeria's Chief of Air Staff has been visiting Air Force formations in the heartland of the Boko Haram insurgency. Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar was in Adamawa and Borno states over the weekend to meet with troops and inspect facilities at the formations. The Army General also paid a courtesy visit to the Shehu of Borno State in northeast Nigeria.
It's no secret that Nigeria's military recent successes against Boko Haram owe much to the country's Air Force. With the insurgents' positions bombed from the air, allowing ground troops to subsequently conduct mop-up operations, the Nigerian military has succeeded in beating back Boko Haram. Buoyed by these recent successes, the country's Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, decided to take a tour of Air Force formations in the northeast as part of measures to boost the morale of Air Force personnel involved in the operation against the insurgents. His first stop was Maiduguri in Borno State, the epicenter and birthplace of the Boko Haram insurgency. The Air Chief met with troops and praised them for their efforts in defeating the terrorists.
To come out with greetings from the Commander-in-Chief to them for the good works they have been doing in order to keep the Northeast stable. That, in essence, is the reason why we are here. For the IDPs, we also believe that we have some level of responsibility to try and see how we can provide as much as possible, at least medical requirements for them in some of the camps, the ones that we can afford.
He later made a stop over at the palace of the Shehu of Borno, where he assured the traditional ruler that the Air Force was still committed to eradicating the ghost of Boko Haram in the state.
It is very unfortunate that in the last few years we have had to contend with this terrible group that has come to destabilize a very peaceful environment. I want to assure you, Your Royal Highness, that the Armed Forces of Nigeria are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that stability, peace, and prosperity is restored not only to Borno State, but to the entire northeastern states of Nigeria.
You know, in Borno, we have 27 local governments. And as now, over 2 million people are here right now in Maiduguri as internally displaced persons. And these people are willing to go back to their respective local governments, provided that there are security in terms of soldiers, police, military, and paramilitary. So we are appealing to the federal government to assist by providing security to all the 27 local governments.
From Borno State, the Air Chief made the short journey to Adamawa State, another state in the northeast affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. There, he stopped over in Yola to see the traditional ruler of the town. He told his host that the Air Force would not relent in its war against the insurgents, promising that lasting peace would soon return to the troubled areas in the state.
The instability that we have been experiencing in the northeast will, by the special grace of Almighty Allah, come to an end. Like I said, we are working round the clock to ensure that we carry through this operation. We are working round the clock to ensure that people are able to go about their businesses. People are able to pursue their legitimate aspirations without any hindrance.
We are really grateful to the military. Everybody knows. If I look at your face, I can see you smiling because you have accompanied the Chief of Air Staff, who have been doing a wonderful job to rid us of the Boko Haram terrorists. And they are succeeding on a daily basis. As I said, I hope in the next 2-3 days it will be a thing of the past.
The air chief would later address journalists, telling them that the insurgency was nearing an end and that Boko Haram is close to being wiped out.
Looking at where we are coming from, we are actually at the tail end of this operation, God willing. And very soon, the Northeast, the entire Northeast, will be stable.
It's the kind of news Nigerians really want to hear. The Boko Haram insurgency has raged on in Nigeria's Northeast for about 7 years now, killing over 10,000. The military has succeeded in beating back the Islamist militant sect and significantly reduced the amount of suicide attacks on innocent civilians in the Northeast. The air chief made it clear there would be no let-off in the campaign until the sect is comprehensively defeated.
The senior army officer kidnapped by unknown gunmen in Kaduna State has been found dead. A statement by the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, said preliminary investigations revealed that Inusa was killed same day he was kidnapped. Colonel Inusa was abducted from his car around Kamazo area near Refinery Junction in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State on Sunday, March 27th. No group or person has claimed responsibility for the abduction and the killing. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, has appeared before the Senate to explain the unending fuel scarcity across the country. The lawmakers had ordered the minister to appear before it on Tuesday as the fuel crisis goes worse in some areas. Speaking at the meeting on Tuesday in Abuja, Kachiku also apologized for remarks he made at the State House, where he was quoted as saying he's not a magician and could not make fuel queues disappear. He said some found his comment rather offensive and has assured that fuel queues across the nation will disappear by April next month. The fuel scarcity has created a booming market for fuel black marketers, as many Nigerians buy fuel from them than spend long hours in petrol stations. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has also reassured Nigerians of its commitment to end the persistent fuel scarcity in the country. A statement signed by Garbadin Mohammed, an NNPC spokesperson in Abuja, said the state oil company was on top of the petroleum product supply and distribution situation. It blamed corruption, inefficiencies in the supply and distribution chain, incessant vandalism of pipelines, and poor performance of refineries, among others, as the reasons for the fuel scarcity. Minister of State for Petroleum Ibe Kachiku says Nigeria is in talks with major oil producers Chevron, Francis, Total and Italy's Eni to get help revamping the ailing refineries in the country. Kachiku, who also heads NNPC, said Nigeria wanted to privatize the refineries within 12 months following repairs. Nigeria, which is Africa's top crude oil producer, has been facing a severe fuel scarcity for the past few weeks, one of the worst it has ever experienced. The West African nation has been trying to restart its outdated refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna State to end its dependency on costly fuel imports. Now, the high hopes that greeted the announcement of the passage of the 2016 budget by the National Assembly last week is gradually giving way to despair, as President Muhammadu Buhari has withheld his assent to the bill. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said President Buhari withheld his assent due to the fact that the National Assembly only sent highlights, not the budget details. A government official on Tuesday said the president is withholding his approval because he doesn't know the changes made to the budget by the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed for Washington, D.C., USA to attend the 4th Nuclear Security Summit, which opens on Thursday, March 31st. A statement by presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina says the president will address the plenary sessions of the summit. President Buhari is expected to reaffirm Nigeria's stance that international efforts to ensure greater security of nuclear materials maintain a balance, and also the indisputable right of Nigeria and other countries to harness nuclear energy and technology for socio-economic rights. Now, moving on to another story now. The Albino Association of Nigeria, Jake Epele, has appealed to the federal government to give free treatment to albinos with skin cancer at the National Hospital and other health facilities. Speaking at a meeting with Nigeria's Minister of State for Health, Osage Ehanire, Jake Epele confirmed that over 2 million people are living with albinism in Nigeria. On his part, the minister assured the citizens that the provision of universal health care is of utmost concern to the Nigerian government.
Our greatest problem is skin cancer. And I remember in 2007 coming to the ministry, and then Professor Lambo was the minister, and he received us, and then he was instructed by the president to set up a presidential task force to look into the problems of persons with albinism. That task force recommended that albinos in the country be treated, those of them who have skin cancer, be treated for free. The then president embraced that project and ensured that National Hospital in particular and other designated hospitals will take up the challenges of treating persons with albinism for free. It was agreed in the conference hall downstairs with all the CMDs that they will treat, but the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Finance through Ministry of Health will pick up the bill. That treatment started and had been ongoing until I think in 2013 the issue of bill came up. We were then indebted to National Hospital to the tune of 17.8 million. Many of us are ignorant of what causes skin cancer, which is the sun. And so wearing sunscreen will go a long way to help. As a matter of fact, when we got that fund, I did advise the National Hospital, take 5% of that and put it into awareness so that the people will be aware of what to do.
The work concerning the care for yourself is lifelong, and I am glad that the previous government gave some commitments to you regarding the offer to help with looking after skin cancer arising from albinism. We are yet to be fully briefed on that. This government, as you know, is new. We are just taking over here, barely 4 months now. And we need to be up to date with the promises made before. By the time we have gone through the letter which the government gave to you regarding its commitments that it made, we shall see the nature of this commitment. The offer to treat, whether it is only restricted to a national hospital or to all hospitals in the country, and the extent of treatment that is involved, all those are things which we need to be able to determine so that government knows its obligations.
The People's Democratic Party PDP Board of Trustees has advised Ali Modu Sheriff, the PDP national chairman, not to extend his tenure beyond May this year. Acting chairman of the Board of Trustees, Wali Jibrin, gave the advice while addressing journalists on Tuesday in Abuja. He urged Sheriff to heed the advice and not stay in office beyond the 3 months given to him. Jibrin said that the advice became necessary following calls by Sheriff supporters to extend his tenure. At least 3 people have been killed with several others injured after a pipeline operated by the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company in Bayelsa, southern Nigeria, burst during operations. The incident happened on Sunday, but bodies were only recovered on Monday after the fire was brought under control. Peter Idabo, the Director General of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, confirmed the deaths. The blast was one of the worst in the recent weeks in the swampland, where residents and former militant groups have long protested against oil pollution and casualties caused by pipeline accidents. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look at business and sports stories. Don't go away.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man that you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like that, I'm going girl, you know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few, I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We do the way you do.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, they will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. The Nigerian Electricity System Operator says it has transmitted 2,905 megawatts to the 11 electricity distribution companies across the country. The company is an arm of the Transmission Company of Nigeria that allocates energy to the distribution companies. A statement on its website said it attained a peak generation of over 3,778 megawatts. Oil futures edged up on Wednesday to near $40 per barrel as a weaker dollar spurred interest in riskier assets. The International Energy Agency said expectations for a surge of oil from Iran were, however, misplaced. Brent futures climbed 46 cents to $39.60 a barrel, while U.S. crude rose 61 cents to $38.89 a barrel. OPEC and other major suppliers, including Russia, are to meet on April 17th in Doha to discuss an output freeze aimed at boosting prices. An Egyptian man accused of hijacking and forcing a plane to land in Cyprus on Tuesday using a fake suicide belt has appeared in court in Cyprus. The Cypriot court ordered an 8-day detention for the man identified as Saif Eldin Mustafa. Even though his motives remain unclear, reports say the incident was a personal matter as the man demanded to talk to his estranged wife living in Cyprus. Possible charges include air piracy, kidnapping, and threatening behavior. The World Health Organization says West Africa's Ebola outbreak no longer constitutes a threat to international public health. This officially declares an end to a nearly 20-month health emergency that killed about 11,300 people across Africa. The three countries worst affected since the disease emerged in late 2013 are Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will miss a second successive Nations Cup after falling to a 1-0 defeat to the Pharaohs of Egypt in their 2017 AFCON qualifier played in Alexandria. The Egyptians won the tie thanks to a Ramadan Shobi strike in the 65th minute. The loss and withdrawal of neighboring country Chad means that the Super Eagles will now miss the Nations Cup for a second successive time, having won the competition in its last appearance in 2013. Following the failure of the Super Eagles, NFF President Amaju Pinnick and Sports Minister Solomon Dalong have issued separate apologies to the country's football fans. Speaking after the arrival of the delegation to Egypt at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Stadium in Abuja early on Wednesday, Pinnick admitted he was saddened by the result but insisted that there were some positive notes to take from the match. While the minister issued an apology via his Twitter account, promising to plan for a better outcome in the nearest future. Manchester City defender Martin De Michelis has been charged by the FA in relation to betting incidents. In a statement, the FA confirmed that the Argentine is alleged to have committed 12 breaches over a week in January. He now has until 5 p.m. on April 5, 2016 to respond to the charges leveled against him. Well, we've come to the end of news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.